What is happening, you guys? We are back. I believe this is episode 11 now with Michelle Vega, Fire Spitter. I can't wait to see what she's going to bring us. What's going on, Michelle?
What is up, you guys? I'm so excited to be here. Friday energy coming through for you guys. Thank you so much for having me. You've been crushing this series, James.
It's a lot of fun. It's honestly a lot of fun, and it's something where I'm really passionate about it because I feel like so many of us, I remember struggling to get past 100,000, and I feel like that's the number one place that if we can get them past 100,000, they're ingrained in their career. Now we can start talking about scale and building that up and building some sort of generational wealth for families. That's what it's really all about.
For sure. And listen, I will say this to everyone that's watching, that you guys are new coming into the business. You guys get to glean and have gotten to glean from some powerhouses that have basically broken down everything that they have put together, that they have walked out. And then they're extending that hand out to you and saying, hey, come, let me show you how not to make the mistakes. Let me show you how to accelerate your success, accelerate your momentum. And I can guarantee you that almost each and every one of them wished they had someone at some point, because mentors do come along the way, but at some point when they were starting, that would have spoken that wisdom onto them to accelerate their success. So this is really special to be able to, glean from all these giants, so to speak, these powerhouses that have gotten it done, that have walked a mile in the shoes that you're trying to walk in. So it's been really neat and fun to watch. And trust me, I've been taking my own notes. you know, to get with my team and apply some wisdom onto them as well. But listen, this is what I can say. Our business, in my opinion, is one of the most exciting businesses to be in. Okay. I know that, potentially if you're new, maybe you're starting to hear different voices of, uncertainty in the market or opinions in the market. But listen, we all need a place to live. We all need a real estate one way or another. So while I'm not going to tell you that, it's roses, and unicorns and, rainbows to work this business, is definitely a stable business, because if you can truly hone in on your skill sets, we'll talk a little bit about that coming up. You'll be able to thrive. You'll be able to survive whatever this industry throws at you and come out better for it. So real estate is definitely a great industry to be in. Definitely, it's not for the weak and the faint at heart. That's okay. If you're tuning into this, that means that you're not that, that you are a person that it's a go-getter, that you're hungry, right? If you've tuned in for 11 episodes, man, you're hungry. You're wanting to make some things happen. So we've been cooking here in the kitchen. We're going to throw them at you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And, before we dive into the big question, tell everyone who Michelle is. There were some captions here in the description, but I think your story really triggers me because you kind of hit on it, right? And it's a question that so many agents, especially if they have another job and they're trying to trickle into this, well, what happens if the market shifts? What happens if it does this? And your story really resonates with that, right? Like you know what that looks like for that market to shift. And I'd love for people to get to know you a little bit before we dive into how are we going to do it.
For sure. So I have been in the business for a little bit now. I think it's like close to 18 years into the business. And I actually started in the mortgage industry, believe it or not. Later transitioned into real estate sales. And when I started, I saw a little bit of everything. There was a lot of more leniency in lending, a lot of fast money, right? When I came into the business, there was people coming into the business from everywhere. I mean, you had people that were in the restaurant industry, automotive industry, retail industry, and it was just fast money. So, it's not as regulated and stable as it is today, right? So it was great. I mean, we were to track back, I started as a mortgage broker, right? So just working with consumers as I do today, and later really got into the industry, into the wholesale side. So it was more working with business to business, so other professionals, right? Other lenders, other brokers. I represented as an account executive, a wholesale lender. So got a chance to learn how to underwrite, how to process deals. I was just kind of sit there with different shops. I had, multiple territories within Central Florida. And then just really learned that industry from, one level, my work, my way up into, the actual wholesale lending side. And it was great. It was great. We were all making money, from one level to another. And then 2006, 7, and 8, because people think 2008 is when the subprime market crashed, but it really started going downhill 6, 7, and 8. It was kind of like a compound effect. And the values and the market was in a little bit of a bubble, combined with the way that lending was going, the subprime market crashed. And I remember at that time, I was working with the lender at the time, but my husband and I had a mortgage shop too. And we had I want to say close to 10 mortgage brokers, processing teams, the whole nine out. We were in partnership with another friend of ours. And it was tough, guys. I mean, it was really tough. We had deals on the closing table, and the rep would come in and say, hey, listen, this deal can't close, our lines are frozen. And it was just a trickle effect, a trickle effect, a trickle effect. So we basically saw what it was to kind of see your business fall apart, through that crash. But out of that, we were able to transition. Out of that, we were able to learn a lot of big lessons. And that's when I ended up transitioning into the sales side. And the dust settled, and it was all short sales. That was what was left. But I say this to encourage you: no matter how the market shifts, there's always going to be business to work, right? And this industry is going to teach you how to be resilient, and how to just become better at your craft. If you let it. But if you're tuning in to James stuff and to this channel, is because that's the type of person that you are. So I transitioned into short sales, and just helping people get cash to keys for their homes, and then, slowly the market started strengthening again, right? And lending got stronger again, and guidelines were put into place. FHA, back in the day, in those days, FHA was non-existent. Like, people were doing, conventional all day, non-conforming, like stated loans. Basically, if you had a pulse, you qualified. It was crazy back then. And we had a lot of exotic loans out there that we would just, we were putting people in. And it wasn't because we were like shady people, shady professionals. It was just, that was what was available. Your clients would come in, these loan programs were available. And in your mind, you're like, okay, man, I want to get as many people as I can into home ownership. And, this is, what's available for us to work. And so the market got better, got stronger, and we were able to transition that and grow it into the clientele that we work with now. And it's been a ride. It's been a ride. So for me, I've had the opportunity to see this, how cyclical this can be, but also see the opportunity in it to become better as a professional, right? And that's what we want to see for you guys, that are coming into this industry. We want to prepare you to have the right mindset, right? And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that in a minute, but just to have the right mindset coming in this, so that you can thrive. So that's a little bit about how I got into the industry. I'm also a John Maxwell certified coach, alongside with my husband, which has been incredible. We are really big on personal development and leadership and the growing of other leaders. Right? Most people sometimes don't see themselves as leaders. And the truth of the matter is that everyone is a leader. Everyone is impacting someone else. And you that are coming into this industry, it's even more important for you to be aware of your influence, because you are carrying levels of influence for your clients, for the people around you, the network around you, but most of all yourself. So becoming an aware leader, it's huge for you to be able to thrive in this business.
I love it. I love it. And before we dive into the big question, I want to touch on something there that is huge, right? So we're blessed, right? If the market shifts, we've got, I mean, just in our global alliance group, right? Like we've got 500 really top level agents that we can collaborate with and change. Now, if you don't have a group like that, that's where networking really stands out, right? It's time to really build relationships with other agents so that when that market shifts, you have that place to go, right? Like, what is that other agent that is still producing in a different market that shifts after 3 months? What are they doing? Do you have that relationship now so that when that happens and they're at the leading of that, you can actually get in there and understand what they're doing so you can implement it in your business? That's huge in terms of change. Let's dive right in there. So you're starting over today. You're going right back to Jump Street, and you're going to go from 0 to 100,000 as fast as possible. What are the steps you're going to take?
I would say I just got my license, and if I can go back to my baby self, I would really, number one, get my mindset right. Right. I love what Rebecca Soto said in your first episode, and she was talking about honing in your why. That's huge, right? But at the same time, just being able. Oh, sorry, getting blown up there. I should put this on airplane mode so we don't getting your mindset right. And what do I mean by that? You're starting a business. You're starting a business. And in you starting a business, you need to understand that you need to grow in your mindset to the level of where you want to go. Right? You want to set your mind to know that while this is going to be super rewarding, there's going to be work attached to it. I think social media, unfortunately, can also, while it's a great tool for motivation and for so many things, it could portray a persona, or it could portray a story that it's limited and flawed. Right? A business is going to come with challenges. So I want you to come in, and I would tell myself, hey, listen, come in and get your mindset right. Get with the content that you need, the mentorship that you need. Find what you need to make sure that you grow yourself as the leader that you're becoming and that you're going to represent. Right? So I love this quote. It always resonates with me, is know yourself to grow yourself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're coming in this, and you're probably going to have your goals of making money and building a business, but you also know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. Right? So know yourself to grow yourself. Come in with that mindset of growth. Come in with that mindset of wanting to develop yourself as a leader in this new industry that you're coming in. So I would say that would be number one. Number two, I would say take the time and reverse engineer your goal. Right? Goals it can be very flighty. Right? Oh man, you know what? I want to make the 6 figures. What does that even mean? How are you going to get there? Get some clarity around that, because there's so much information and testimonials, and you're seeing someone do this and you're seeing someone do that. Sometimes that could be very overwhelming. sometimes that can just send you up for a loop and take away clarity from you, right? So I would say, once I got my mindset right and I implemented a growth plan, meaning, hey, I want to make sure that I read at least one book a month. And if that means it's 10 pages a day on, how to become a better leader or how to grow my skill set, and you can develop a growth plan, but knowing that's a non-negotiable for you, right? That's going to be your vital behaviors. So I'm going to talk about 3 vital behaviors that you should implement, that I wish I implemented when I started. I got them along the way, right? But how much would I have accelerated if I did this from the beginning? So vital behavior number 1 is personal development and growth. The second one would be reverse engineering your goals, right? So what does reverse engineering mean? At the simplest level is determining whatever that goal is, right? 6 figures in this case, right? We're trying to grow ourselves to 6 figures. And what do we need to do at the simplest task to get us there, right? So take some time to reverse engineer your goals. I did this exercise, a few years into my career, and every year I kind of update it as to what I'm working with and what my goals are, right?
Yep.
So for you that you're coming in, you say, okay, all right, Michelle, that's amazing. 6 figures, it's my goal. How do I reverse engineer it? Well, I'm going to give you a little simple cheat sheet formula that I created, that was given to me and I've modified throughout the years coming in. In the United States, I don't know if you guys know this, the top 1% of earners make about $420,000 a year. Okay. Of course, maybe you guys are like, man, we're just starting. That seems so unattainable. I'm good with, just closing in 1 deal a month. And while that's okay, I'm not knocking that, that's okay. You want to shoot for a little more so that if you hit in the middle, you at least get closer to that, right? Because one thing you will know once you start working this business, nothing is set in stone until the ink is on the paper and the closing has gone through, right? That's why you need the mindset part, because you need to be able to grow that resilience on, the challenges of this business. So let's say top 1% earners in the country make $420,000, obviously within the 6-figure mark. Take how much the average commission is in your market. Okay. So let's say mine, it's about 7,000, just a little bit over the 7,000, but just to kind of just come in the middle, $7,000, right? So if that comes out, if we were to go off that number, the 420, which would be about $35,000 a month, that would be 5 closings a month, right? Yeah. Now, metrics also tells us that it takes 10 leads, 10 prospects for you to be able to convert 1, right? So 10 to 1. So that would mean you will want to shoot for 5 closings a month. Now, I know these numbers are kind of high level. I'm giving you higher, right? Because if I give you lower and you don't meet it, you are not going to get to the target, right? So let's go a little bit higher. Let's say 5 closings a month. Yeah. I don't know about you, but starting out 5 closings a month, that's pretty awesome, right? That is kind of top producer level, right? But hey, we're going to set our high here. Yep. So, that we can come as close to it as possible. That's how I coach my team. Hey, we're going to show up and show out. If we don't make it, at least we're going to hit that middle target. So 5 closings a month, right? So we're reverse engineering, right? We said, if the goal is to get at that top 1% and it's 420, that's $35,000 a month. That's 5 closings a month based on the $7,000 amount, average commission. How many leads, how many people are you going to want to touch each month, right? We're reverse engineering this. We're going to take it down to the very basic level. That's about 46 leads a month, right? So let's demystify this huge number. When you hear these top producers, I'm closing, multi-million-dollar, pipelines, how did they get there? How many people did they have to touch? Did they have to talk to? Did they have to connect with to get to that number, right? 46 leads a month. If you take that even a step, more to reverse engineer that's 12 leads a week. Yep. If you take that one step more, that's 2 leads a day. Yep. So you've taken this huge hairy goal and you've taken it to the most basic level on how to get there. Simplify things. So I would say to my younger, realtor self, get your mindset right, because girl, you're gonna need it. And number two, reverse engineer those goals. Sometimes it feels so overwhelming, hearing what it takes to make it in this business. But if you can get the little wins, if you can simplify it in a way that you can eat the elephant one bite at a time, it's going to be more attainable for you mentally, so that way you can take action, right? I know personality plays a big role on this. Some people that are just like, we're just gonna bulldozer to this thing and let the chips fall where they may. And then you have other people that they're just overthinkers, and they get into this they get paralyzed, right? So when you can simplify this in a way that then you can take action, then the results will come, right? And I would say, so reverse engineer the goal that you have. This would be just, income wise, right? You reverse engineering how many touches. And then once you have that, then you can move on. And how am I going to get those touches? How am I going to get them leads, right? How am I going to get in front of these 46 people, to be able to get to my goal, right? But you've taken these big, hairy, scary goals and simplify them in a way that become a little bit more attainable for you. Okay. So I would say that would be my second thing, reverse engineer my goal. And then the third thing that I would do is I will get clear on a niche. I fought this forever. And still to this day, sometimes I have to go back to my mindset, right? That's why I made that one the first one, Get clear on a niche, get clear on who you want to serve, get clear on who you want to work with. And I know that's hard, because when you're coming in, you just want to get a deal. Yeah. and by all means, whatever comes your way, you will work, right? But if you can start with the end in mind, guys. I know it's so tempting to just take whatever comes in, and yes, by all means, do take whatever comes in, but always crafting your path with the end in mind. Who is it that you want to work with, right? Because that's going to give you clarity on what kind of brand you want to build, and how you want to put yourself out there, and how do you want to craft that message for your people, right? And I know this kind of seems like a few steps into the business and a little bit more high level, but believe me, you want to start with the end in mind day one. That's how you accelerate. That's how you can, avoid some mistakes that some of us have made in the past of wasted time. This show is all about leveraging your time, accelerating your success so that you don't waste the time that others wasted, right? So number 3, get clear on your niche and who you want to serve, and then network the hell out of things. Network. Get yourself in positions to be able to meet with people, talk to people. If you're a parent, your the faculty at your kids' school and the teachers better know you're in the business. Like if your dentist better know you're in the business. When you go to a restaurant, when you go to your favorite coffee shop, network. Let people know that you are in the business. Don't be a secret agent. Secret agent is a broke agent. Network. And not only just network with consumers, network with people in the business. Do not be intimidated because you're starting out. That used to happen to me in the beginning. I felt comfortable talking to some people, but then the top producers, I feel like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to add to that conversation. No. Network with other people, because yes, you will find some that might not come from a place of abundance and contribution. You might find them, but you will also find some that will be. You will find some that are wanting and are willing to take you under their wing, and not necessarily in the full sense of the word, but hey, might be willing to speak into where you are in that moment. Or if you have a difficult deal and you're working that with them, they might be able to give you some advice on how to do it better than next time. So don't be afraid to network. I would say that would be the fourth one. And then for maximum leverage, if you say to me, Michelle, that sounds amazing. I took my notes, I want to get going, and I'm ready to go. Do you have anything else? I would say I have a way where you can combine all of that and get maximum leverage. And if that sounds good to you, if that's something that resonates with you, and you want to know what that is, I got something for you on that. And I would say join a team. Join a team.
100%.
And I fought that in the beginning. I wanted to be the Lone Ranger. I was like, no, I got this. I have my experience from the lending side. And I could do this. And I did do it. But when I understood the team model, I kicked myself for not starting with a team, because I could have accelerated my growth so much more.
Yep.
And the reason why is because the right team. Now, not every team is created equal, guys. You want to make sure that you join the right team that's going to align with your goals. But the right team will already have a lot of this stuff set in place for you. All the systems and the processes and the training and the mindset, right? Because you'll have training there, you'll have success coaches there, you'll have mentorship there, you'll have someone that will help you get your mind right, troubleshoot with you potential challenges that might come along the way when you're doing deals with your clients, and how to talk with other agents, and how to hold your open houses, and you'll have it all there for you, where you don't have to go fish it for yourself, where you don't have to go try to do it yourself and figure it out yourself. The right team is going to put opportunities in, so help you with the reverse engineering of these leads, of how many leads you need to talk to, and you need to get in front of. The right team is going to be able to put opportunities in front of you, right? So you'll be able to grow and fail in a safe place, right? You'll be able to get maximum leverage on your growth. And then, you might want to stay in that team for a long time, or you might feel like you got everything, and then now you can go and duplicate what they have done, or do it to, at a different level. But I would say for maximum leverage and acceleration of your growth, I would have told myself join a team way sooner, when I started, and I didn't. So I would say that would be the number 4 for me.
I love it. I love it. You dropped a million nuggets in there. And the team drop there is real true. And I think, so I started on a team. I had a great mentor, and I think the place where people get turned off by teams are like, oh, the split. Listen, this is from somebody who produced very highly on a team and now runs a team. Your split ain't really all that crazy, because that's your take home. There's no additional costs, right? So no matter what that split is, 50%, 60%, whatever that is, you have to account that if you're a single agent, you're going to produce and you're going to sell to where you're closing 2 homes a month. You're not doing that for free. Like, there's going to be overhead and expenses that come with that. So that's the part where I feel like the brain shifts a little bit. And the other thing is, when you go and talk to a team, the real question is, what happens when I do get past 30 deals a year? How do I get to 50 on your team? How do I get to 100 on your team? For me personally, one of the things I love about where we are is somebody comes to me and they're sitting down and they are a leader and they want to become a bigger leader. Listen, this is a launching pad. That's all it is. We're playing on the Mario Kart where we see the turbo over here, and we're just going to run through the turbo and just get it turned up, right? That's what I love about where we are, is we have that opportunity to help them grow into becoming bigger leaders without anything removed, right? Without the brain fighting the heart.
100%. I mean, the platform of where we are, it's one more step of accelerating your growth, because it creates multiple opportunities for you to diversify your business. And I know that's one of the reasons why I transitioned into where I am now in EXP, because it allows for me to be able to offer that now to my team, and the agents on my team. And guys, that is what it's all about. I hope that you can see the possibilities of this business, right? So that you don't spend time being frustrated because you're seeing other people be successful, but you're hitting a lid because you're not getting it, you're missing something. We're going to remove that so that you can see the possibility on how to be successful from, stories from different top producers that have done it, at a high level, to show you it's possible, to show you that you can do it, and to be able to remove some of these roadblocks that, we kind of had to experience. We could have done it faster, right? You now get the opportunity to go faster, farther, or farther, faster rather, because you're seeing the different opportunities that are available and how to be able to, implement them in your journey as a real estate professional, coming into this business. So lots of ways to make money, lots of ways to get to the goal. It's just a matter of you taking action, in the ones that resonate with you the most. One thing that I always tell my coaching clients and even my team is small wins create big momentum, right? That's why reverse engineering is such a powerful practice. Why? Because you're creating small wins that create big momentum, and momentum, it's aligned with action. It's hand in hand with action, right? So taking some of these nuggets, I mean, so many from so many different guests that you've had on the show. Hopefully you were able to glean some wisdom and value from the ones that I brought in. And get going, begin to implement these things. Put yourself in a position to grow. Put yourself, that's where the team comes in. That's where, being under the right environment. If your environment is hot, you will get hot.
Yep.
But if your environment is cold, you're going to stay cold. Putting yourself in the right environment, aligning yourself to the right people, right? Whether it's through networking, whether it's through, coming together with the right team, the right organization. Even if it's just, hey, maybe you're not there right now and you need a little bit more time to make a decision of change. Put yourself in connection with people that are walking where you want to walk, right? That are having the conversations that are causing people to grow and causing people to implement different things into their business. At the basic level, at least do that. Because if your environment is hot, you will get hot. And being in proximity to the right people gives you permission to be able to take action in your goals, in your dreams, in the things that you want to do. Why? Because you're seeing them do it, right? It's not theory anymore, right? Where, oh man, I kind of want to I see myself here. That's great. I'm all about it. But now when you see someone else do it, it gives you permission to do it. It gives you a blueprint to do it. To implement some of the things that they have done. Why? Because you've put yourself in proximity to be able to see it happen. I know for you it's worked, James, it's worked for me, and for so many others. When we come in together and collaborate, man, we come out of those meetings, we come out of those conferences, we come out of those masterminds ready to go. Why? Because we were able to see someone else do it. We got the blueprint, and then now we can go and implement it into our businesses and our lives. So put yourself in an environment, guys, to win. That is crucial for your longevity in this business, because motivation gets you started, but it is consistency that's really going to take you to where you want to be. So you can start very motivated, but the consistency comes from putting yourself in a place that's going to breathe consistency to you, right? Because you're going to become accountable, or you're going to see other people do it, and then you'll be able to take those steps to do it yourself.
I love that. It's 100% spot on, to where when I think back, even just from where I came over the last 14 months, is what you were driving into my head was, okay, yeah, like I'm crazy, and I think we all kind of are, but the cool thing is that we're crazy and we love each other for being crazy. And that's how we achieve crazy shit is we don't go to each other with some crazy idea and it gets shut down. It gets furthered, right? Like we come together on that crazy idea and actually make, okay, how are you going to put that into place? How are we going to make that
You
better?
reverse engineer it, like, okay,
Exactly.
what do you need to do in this week to be able to get, 2 actionable steps? You need that.
Then we hold each other accountable at the end to make sure that it actually gets done. It's we're blessed, dude. We're super blessed.
Well, 100%. 100%. Listen, when I started in this business, one thing that I wish I had more of was collaboration.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the beginning, a lot of people were not walking in a place of abundance, right? Abundance says there's plenty, not enough. There's plenty of business for everyone. There's plenty of opportunity for us. So I have no need of hoarding anything because there's plenty for you and me and everyone else, right? Scarcity says, oh, there's not enough. So I can't share, my book with you. I can't share my blueprint with you. I can't collaborate. And, there's still people out there, they're a little bit, behind on their growth journey. They're coming along a little slower than others. But there's a magic that happens when you find your people, when you find your tribe. And actually, this is something that I teach my team, and I'm putting together a workshop on just how to properly collaborate, because sometimes you have to model it to cause someone else to see, for it to resonate with them, right? Sometimes you have to see somebody doing business differently to say, I felt good to do business with her. I want to be like that. Sometimes you have to inspire people by modeling it, right? And in this business, when you go into a transaction with someone, right, you're representing one party, the other person's representing the other party. It's kind of like a marriage. And sometimes, the other person on the other side can determine, a lot of the outcome and the experience of the journey, right? And, it's great when you connect with someone that gets it, you know what I mean? But then when you don't, and that other agent is very difficult to work with, that's where getting the mindset right comes in. Because as leaders, it's our job to navigate our own emotions and be able to show up as a leader for everyone involved in that transaction. And hopefully at the end, you have modeled it in such a way that that other agent can say, man, you know what? I kind of want to do things differently the next time, right?
Yep.
I know we're running late on time on this, but I'll give you an example on it. The other day I had a deal. I was closing, and the title company dropped the ball. They actually collected, I was representing the seller. They collected the commission for it was the same brokerage. So I guess they saw EXP, they paid out and they collected the buyer's agent commission, but they never collected mine. It was a mess. And because who wants to go back to their seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, guess what? You just got, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you still need to pay me.
Oh, this is tough.
Oh, that is not fun. But you know what? The seller was so gracious. Was so gracious with me. And I could have, out of spite, out of trying to be right, go back to the title company and let them have it. But guess what? Grace was shown unto me. I have a responsibility to decide how I'm going to show that back to the other party. And I knew in that moment, they obviously dropped the ball. They obviously were wrong, but I have a choice. I can show the same kindness to them because it was shown to me, or I can be this, jerk and, let them have it. And I didn't. And it made such an impact. They were like, we can't believe, like, we're so sorry. Thank you for being so understanding. Thank you, for, and it was a decision as a leader based on my principles to model that. Hopefully, hoping that it could happen again and it could happen again and they can show it to someone else, right? And sometimes we come across people that are difficult in this industry, in any industry, but in what we do. And so it takes us growing as leaders to be able to create the type of business and industry that we want to see, so that we're not working with jerks all the time. And when something comes up, they're not, ready to, scold you and, do all these crazy, which I've had. Let's be better. Let's be better, right? And it starts right now. You're coming into this business, decide the type of professional you want to be. Decide at what kind of caliber you want to work, and everything around you is going to align.
Love it. I love it. I almost want to end it right there because that was so strong. Right? Like, thank you. And I want to. So I got to go. I got my Legoland pass, and I'm going to get kicked out of this hotel room here in just a second. But I want to take some time just to appreciate you. Like, you're a leader. I feel blessed that you came into my life. I know that we've done some events together now. Hopefully, we're going to do Cabo together here in a couple of weeks.
And yeah, I'm excited for that one.
You're a beast, man. I appreciate your contribution and you being willing to always step up and help others. And I really appreciate you for being here.
Thank you, James. Likewise, you're such a, I love the relationship that we've been able to form. You're such a powerhouse in the industry, doing things like this and everything else that you do for new agents and just agents on your team, the industry itself. So I'm blessed to have you being part of my network and as a business partner. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You got it. Talk soon.
Take care.